Welcome to How I Unfucked My Life. Yeah, I know, that sounds a little aggressive and offensive, but so is life, and we need aggressive solutions. So, let's get started.
And today we're starting with confidence. You see, confidence isn't optional. It's the foundation. Without it, everything else in your life starts to get shaky. Work, love, friendships, even how you treat yourself. It all crumbles if you don't have confidence. I personally think confidence is just one of the 4 pillars you need to build a life that doesn't suck. The other 3 are boundaries, self-worth, and self-esteem. You put them all together and you've got a rock-solid base for a life that doesn't collapse every time shit gets hard. And we're going to hit those others in upcoming episodes, but today it's all about the confidence. Because if you don't have that, like I said, nothing else stands. So we're going to dig deep. What it really is, why you need it, how you build it, how to keep it, and what happens when you don't have it. So think of your life like a house. And we all know that can get heavy. You got work demands, relationship drama, family stress, bills, health issues. The list never ends. And without a solid foundation, the walls are going to start to crack. Confidence, boundaries, self-worth, and self-esteem. That's your foundation. They're not luxuries, they're necessities. Confidence is the first pillar because it feeds the rest. Without confidence, you won't set boundaries. Without confidence, your self-worth stays in the gutter. Without confidence, your self-esteem depends on other people's opinion of you and outside circumstances. So let me show you how they connect. Confidence is the self-trust that says, I can handle this. Boundaries are the rules that protect that confidence from being drained by everyone's bullshit. Self-worth is knowing you deserve better than scraps, which is why you're setting the boundaries. And self-esteem is how you see yourself when no one's looking. And you're not going to see good things if you don't have confidence. So you can see why confidence is where we're going to start. So what is confidence? Confidence, well, I'll tell you what it's not. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not ego. It is not thinking that you're better than anyone else. It's not being the loudest voice in the room or pretending you're perfect. But what it is self-trust. It's the quiet, unshakable belief that you'll figure it out, that you can handle whatever happens, even if you fail. People get wrapped up in that, what if I fail? What if you do? So what? I would personally rather fail trying and learn something than never have tried at all. And there's always the possibility that you're actually going to succeed. There's a thought. Confidence doesn't show up before action. It shows up after. You don't wait until you feel confident to speak up in a meeting, ask for the raise, set a boundary, or walk away from someone toxic. You do the thing first. You do it scared. You do it messy. You do it unsure. And the confidence shows up afterward as proof that you've survived, as proof that you can handle things. See, most people get it backwards and sit around waiting to feel confident before they move, and that's why they don't move. They think if they take another class or read another book or make more money or whatever, somehow they're going to develop the confidence to do the thing. When all along, they had to do the thing first and develop the confidence later. Now take me, for instance. When I first started speaking, I said yes to a couple opportunities, and I had zero confidence that I could actually pull it off. I remember those first few offers. My gut reaction was, there's no way I can do this. Who am I to stand up there and tell anybody anything? But I took them anyway, and I showed up to them anyway, and I spoke scared, unsure, and shaky as hell. But after each one I did, I thought, holy crap, I did it. And guess what? The world didn't end. People didn't laugh me off the stage. In fact, people thanked me afterwards and told me how much they got out of my talk. And that's when the confidence showed up. Not a second before. Not while I was sweating through my blouse. It all came after, when I realized I survived that. I actually pulled it off. You see, that's the lesson. Confidence doesn't lead the way, action does. You don't wait for confidence to show up before you take the risk. You take the risk scared, and confidence is the reward that follows. So let's break it down into 3 areas, like work, relationships, and life. You see, work, Without confidence, you're the employee who stays quiet in the meetings, lets others take credit, and watches promotions pass you by because you don't feel like you're good enough. You say yes when you're drowning in work because you're too scared to speak up, so you sacrifice yourself and your mental health. But confidence at work isn't just about climbing the ladder. It's about being respected and paid for the value that you bring. So my tip is speak once in every meeting, even if it's just a question or to get clarification on something. Because every time you do, that you prove to yourself that you belong. Because you do, and your opinion and input matters. And tip 2, track your wins. Keep a list of projects that you nailed, problems you solved, somebody helped with an issue, or times that you were thanked. Use that as the ammunition when the imposter syndrome tries to run the show. In relationships, well, without confidence, you settle. You take half-assed love. You cling to people who don't deserve you because you're scared to be alone. You tolerate disrespect, bad behavior, or breadcrumbs because deep down, you don't believe you can do better. Trust me, I've been there. You don't think you deserve it or you're worth it. Confidence in relationships is what allows you to walk away, to demand respect, and to choose love instead of begging for it. So my tips: say what you need without apologizing for it. If you want more time, affection, respect, say it. Confidence in relationships is knowing your needs matter just as much as theirs. And this one I love. Pay attention to how you feel after time spent with someone. Are you energized or are you drained? That's your answer about whether they deserve a spot in your life. And life in general, well, without confidence, you live reactive. You play small, apologize for existing, you apologize for everything, and you beg for approval. You spend your whole life trying not to rock the boat. You hope people will like you instead of commanding respect. And confidence is when you stop trying so hard to be liked and start showing up as yourself regardless of what other people think. And the right people will naturally respect that. And the wrong people, well, they're going to naturally fall off. And that respect lasts longer than approval ever will. You see, confidence frees you to stop asking for permission and just live. So my tips: do one uncomfortable thing every day. It doesn't have to be huge. Try a new class, start a conversation, take a different route home. Or how about catch yourself apologizing for something that doesn't need an apology and stop it. Limit comparison triggers. If scrolling Instagram makes you feel like crap, unfollow those accounts. Stop scrolling. Protect your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Now, how do you actually build it? Now, here's the part that nobody really likes to hear. See, you can't think your way into confidence, and you can't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to just have confidence today. It doesn't really work like that. You have to act your way to it. You have to start doing the uncomfortable things and keep doing them. See, once you start doing the uncomfortable things, you prove to yourself that you can survive them. Every time you say no when you would have said yes, every time you raise your hand in that meeting, every time you walk away from crap that doesn't serve you, you're training your confidence muscle. It's like the gym. You don't get stronger by staring at the weights. You get stronger by actually lifting them, even when they're heavy, even when it hurts. Same with confidence. You earn it, rep by rep. So start small. Speak up once. Say no once. Show yourself you can handle it. Wins stack. That's how confidence grows. When you start showing up for yourself, life rewards you. So my tip: start small. Pick something that you've not been doing because you're afraid or unsure and make a move. Start doing it this week. Even if it's the smallest of steps towards it, you're still stepping. And like I said, stack wins. Every time you follow through, your brain collects evidence that you can handle more than you thought. That evidence builds confidence. Now, here's something most people miss, and it's big. If you don't like yourself, you can't believe in yourself enough to take risks. You see, most people who lack confidence in chasing opportunities also lack confidence in how they see themselves, who they are, how they show up, the reflection in the mirror. If you don't have a solid relationship with yourself, nothing is really going to stick. Self-love isn't bubble baths or affirmations, not that they're bad things, but it's respect. It's refusing to keep tearing yourself down for every flaw. It's treating yourself the way that you would treat someone that you actually care about. So my tips, keep promises to yourself, even the small ones. If you say you're going to drink more water today, do it. If you say you're going for a walk or getting up early for a little you time, do it. Show yourself that you matter, because you do. And every follow through builds trust in yourself. And another tip, write down 3 things that you like about yourself that have nothing to do with how you look. Maybe it's your persistence, maybe your humor, or your kindness. Train your brain to see your value beyond appearance. When you start treating yourself with that kind of respect, risks feel less terrifying. Failure doesn't feel like proof you're worthless, it just feels like feedback. That's a kind of self-love that quietly builds confidence. So we're building it. How do we keep it? Confidence leaks out of you every single time you let other people's voices get louder than your own. Every time you scroll social media comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel, you put a crack in your confidence. Every time you let someone disrespect your boundaries because you don't want to upset them, every time you break a promise to yourself, a tiny chip of confidence falls away. You keep it by setting boundaries. Boundaries protect your peace. Choose whose voice gets to matter in your life and whose doesn't. Choose what you will allow and how you expect to be treated, and stick to it. And remember, confidence isn't permanent. It's like hygiene. You wouldn't shower once and say you're clean forever. Same with confidence. You have to feed it daily, maintain it, and keep working that muscle. Keep taking the risks. Keep showing up for yourself. So my tip, protect your peace with boundaries. Pick one small boundary today, put it in place, and hold your ground. Decide who and what gets access to your energy. And tip 2, audit the voices in your life. If someone constantly tears you down, their opinion no longer gets a vote in your self-worth, nor should they have a place in your life. So let's paint the picture. Life with confidence, you ask for the raise without shaking in your boots. You walk away from toxic people instead of clinging to them. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You negotiate, you take chances, you actually build a life that feels like yours. And life without confidence, you shrink. You stay quiet. You settle. You resent people who dared to take what you want. You live life like a side character instead of the main character. And worst of all, you convince yourself that this is just how life is. That a successful life is for everyone else. But it's not. It's just how life is without confidence. Confidence is the ground you build your entire life on. Without it, nothing lasts. With it, everything becomes possible. But honestly, confidence doesn't stand alone. Boundaries, self-worth, and self-esteem are all right behind it, holding the weight of your success. And we're going to dive into each one in the upcoming episodes. But for now, ask yourself this. Where in your life are you letting a lack of confidence keep you small? And that is exactly where you start. So here's your takeaway. Confidence isn't magic, it's muscle. You build it by action. You keep it with boundaries, and you fuel it with self-love, and you strengthen it every single day. Start small, speak up once, say no once. Keep your promises to yourself. Those small wins stack, and before you know it, you've built the foundation you need. But don't forget, confidence doesn't stand alone. The rest of the foundation, the boundaries, the self-worth, the self-esteem, they're just as critical. So if today's message hit home, send this to someone who you think could really use it. And I want you to write down one way that you're going to show up more confidently this week. And if you want more real talk on confidence, boundaries, and self-worth, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss the next few episodes. I'll see you next time on How I Unfucked My Life. Listen, at the end of the day, it's simple. You either make excuses or you make progress, but you can't do both. If something in this episode hit home, then sit with it. Do something about it. And if you're serious about changing your life, start acting like it. And if you're not, well, that's on you. Life doesn't wait. I'll catch you next time on How I Unfucked My Life. And remember, nothing changes if you don't.